Recently leaked emails obtained by CNN showed that former top Trump officials at the Department of Justice were not exactly happy to be asked to investigate the voter fraud conspiracy theory known as the Big Lie by former President Donald Trump and his allies. In fact, emails show that former acting Attorney General Jeffrey Rosen and a former acting Deputy Attorney General Richard Donahue both wanted no part of a White House pressure campaign to use the department to investigate voter fraud conspiracies, including a new conspiracy. I had never heard of this one before, about apparently the country of Italy getting involved. Yes, Italy, by using satellites to somehow change voting machines. So now during elections, the voting machines are not hooked up to the internet. So it seems rather interesting, the whole conspiracy of, no, it was a satellite that changed the votes. Italy. So let me give you some details on this, because this is fascinating. As I told you, I love conspiracies. Now, apparently there's a group calling itself Nations in Action that published a press release on January 6th with the headline, "Senior IT expert at global defense contractor testifies in Italian federal court he and others switched votes through America using satellites." According to its website, Nations in Action is based in Sarasota, Florida. It was established in 2017 to, quote, address the collapse of the civil society with families struggling to maintain faith, values, and virtues. Just to kind of show you what this group's about. According to its website, now that group, I gave you the website. That's what they're about. And for me, they sound super sus. So now they also kind of, in response to CNN asking, hey, where's your proof? They refuse to give up their evidence of Italygate. Now, the press release, which claims to have come from Rome, Italy on January 5th, alleges that an employee of the Italian defense, security, and aerospace company, Leonardo SPA, provided a shocking deposition detailing his role in the most elaborate criminal act affecting a U.S. election. So this person comes out and testifies, again, without actually possessing any evidence, makes these claims. It names Arturo D'Elia as employee and states that he had outlined a scheme that proved successfully in using Leonardo computer systems and military satellites located in Pescara, Italy, to interfere in the U.S. election in favor of Joe Biden. The press release quotes the group's chair, Maria Strollo-Zak, saying, make no mistake, this is a coup d'etat that we will stop in the name of justice and free and fair elections. She also alleges that recent arrests of employees at Leonardo were related to the incident, and that the plan was orchestrated by former President Barack Obama with help of the former Italian Prime Minister Matteo Renzi, as well as the CIA. Unhinged. Wow. Wait. First it's China, and now Italy, and I think there's something about Germany, and then there was Iran, and so I mean, who's at some point who's not involved here? Okay, and this is why conspiracies fascinate me, because when when one thing doesn't pan out, they move to the next. It is constant goalpost moving. And so that's what we have going on here. So now, obviously, debunked. On November 12th, the National Coalition of Election Security Officials announced that there is no evidence that any voting system deleted or lost any votes, changed votes, or was in any way compromised. Again, they're not hooked up to the internet. Now, not only that, but all of the states with the close results in the 2020 presidential race actually had a paper trail, paper records of each vote. So if you're unsure, if you think the votes were changed, well, then just go back to the paper record, the paper ballots, and count those, which they did. Now, they added that this is a added benefit for security and resilience. The process allows for identification and correction of any mistakes or errors. And that's what they did. That's what all the recounts were about. And so they did a hand recount and found no votes were changed. Biden still won. That should be it. That should be it. Apparently, no. Now, USA Today, Reuters, PolitiFact, and the Associated Press, by the way, have debunked these claims and also added that spikes in the vote. And this is one thing that conspiracy theorists are like, oh, look at all the spikes in the votes going to the Democrats. Well, that's because they counted the mail-in ballots late. And we all knew that was going to happen because counting the mail-in ballots is slower than counting ballots in election day. So they got to wait for those ballots to come in and then add them. And of course, the spike, most of these votes that were mail-in came from Democrats. Why? It's because coronavirus, where a lot of Democrats were really wary about going out on election day because of the fears of coronavirus, whereas Republicans apparently didn't give a shit. And they all showed up on election day. In fact, Donald Trump had said, don't use mail-in ballots, full of fraud, come to the polls in person on election day. And so is this really any shock that there were spikes in Democratic votes coming in because of mail-in ballots? No, not at all. Not at all. And so left-leaning counties also released results in large batches, which, of course, to some people looked very suspicious, and yet that was absolutely expected. Now, again, as I also mentioned, the recounts that had happened were paper ballots. Now, another thing that they mentioned, there are employees that were arrested. Well, it turns out that was true, but they were arrested for an alleged role in doing their own hacking, trying to hack the company computers in order to steal sensitive information between the years of 2015 and 2017, not at all related to this election. And by the way, also, they claimed that there were servers hidden in Germany, that somehow have the information. You know how Donald Trump was trying to go after the information stored on servers in Ukraine? This is kind of the same thing. Oh, they get the proof. It's in the servers hidden in Ukraine. The servers, they've got all the information. You got to get the servers. And now the same thing in Italy Gate was saying, no, there were servers not in Ukraine, but in Germany. They were hidden. So obviously we got to go find it, and then and apparently the German government raided them and found the servers, and so therefore Italy Gate is true, but no, it didn't actually happen. There was no raid of election servers in Germany, and so that is completely debunked as well. No servers in Germany. That said, your Trump officials, Trump Chief of Staff Mark Meadows, sending Rosen a YouTube video that outlined this entire conspiracy, the Italy Gate. Rosen forwarded it to Donahue, who simply called it, quote unquote, pure insanity. Well, yeah. Rosen also denied a Meadows request for the Justice Department to review purported signature match anomalies in Georgia. Can you believe this? Rosen wrote to Donahue about Meadows' request. I am not going to respond to the message below. I'm just not going to do it. Because it's nonsense. Total nonsense. Understand that these are people who work with crazy people. What do you do? What do you do when you work with crazy people that are completely unhinged and untethered to reality? Well, apparently you say, I'm not doing that. Fire me if you want. I don't really care. This is unhinged. This is crazy. It's true. The emails also show that Rosen pointed to refuse to meet with Trump attorney Rudy Giuliani. In fact, he said, quote, I flatly refused and said I would not be giving any special treatment to Giuliani or any of his so-called witnesses, and reaffirmed yet again that I will not talk to Giuliani about any of this. Rosen wrote in one email after being asked to meet with Giuliani. Meadows in total fired about a total of about 5 different emails, at least, all filled with different election-related conspiracies, including alleged voter fraud in New Mexico. The Times' Katie Benner also said the communication between Mr. Meadows and Mr. Rosen, she was writing in the New York Times, which have not been previously reported, show the increasingly urgent efforts by Mr. Trump and his allies during the last days in office to find some way to undermine or even nullify the election results while he still had control of the government. And so that's what you have. You had Trump believing these insane conspiracies, Fox News spreading them, QAnon, all that. And then he's literally trying to get people in the government to go, hey, investigate this, get that, look at this, Italy gate. Whatever other gate that you can think of. Just go investigate it. I heard from my friends at Fox News. I heard from Newsmax. Go look it up. Complete and utter nonsense. And look, the reason, of course, is the guy couldn't handle losing. Trump, again, literally believed himself to be the smartest, bestest president ever. And that he couldn't possibly lose to anyone, especially somebody like sleepy Joe Biden. Oh, my God. And the people that followed him, by the way, who gained power in his office, wanted to hold on to that. And so a lot of them listened to him. But thankfully, there were people who didn't. Because, again, it would have ended up with nothing, obviously. It just would have wasted time and resources and all of that stuff, looking into ridiculous stuff like Italy Gate. Italian, you've got Italian satellites that are out there. They're beaming the information to the things, to the voting machines, changing the vote for Biden. Insane. At least there were people who didn't want to be a part of that and part of the attempt to steal an election. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and share with your friends. You can subscribe and help out the channel by becoming a patron. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf, or you can become a channel member as well by hitting the join button below.